good morning, everyone. Hello, my sweeties. Welcome to another Rise and Shine, where we get together and let's celebrate the community and bring a little light and levity back into the world. And happy Easter to all of those who celebrate, and happy Sunday to all of those who don't. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day and is having a good week. And I got thinking last night, as I was watching Drunk's live stream, and got chatting actually with somebody in his chat because Drunk was opening up candy from Canada. And just out of a sheer coincidence, someone in the chat said that once this was all over, they were going to send Drunk some candy from Holland. Well, being half Dutch, that of course caught my attention. And me and this guy, I'm assuming guy, my apologies otherwise, me and this person got talking back and forth about it, which got me, reminiscing a lot about, childhood. And one of the things I actually recommended was, I'm probably going to butcher this completely, is Hagelslag. You guys would recognize it more as, I think some places call it Jimmy's or like chocolate sprinkles. This was something that I grew up on. And it literally looks like chocolate sprinkles. It tastes a lot more chocolatey than what I've found for the American versions or the North American versions. And literally, we would put that on top of bread with butter. And this was one of our favorite treats growing up, me and my sisters. We had so many things that was just so pure sugary, pure unhealthy. And it actually it's been a floating joke over the years. Down to the ever so famous family story of the Cheerio aliens. Now, like I said, we were just about as far from healthy eating as you could possibly go. Well, my mom decided one day to pick up a box of regular, old-fashioned, unflavored Cheerios, trying to inspire us to be healthy. 3 children, 3 young girls. When we had everything that we thought Frosted Flakes was too healthy. Literally. So we opened it up, we tasted it, and this was the most vile thing. We were pretty sure this was something that was used as a torture device for young children. And on the back of the box was this picture of this big smiling baby. And there was a big, fight back and forth between us and Mom about, well, I'm not buying you any cereal until it gets eaten. We're not eating it. Well, just eventually she looked at us and said, just do something with it. And that is where the legend, became born. My oldest sister proceeded to grab a pen and drew little tiny smiley faces with antennae on each individual Cheerio on the box. And, put all sorts of stuff like warning, yet contains aliens inside, bent on world domination. You guys are seeing that this sense of humor that you guys are familiar with me is kind of genetic. Even to the baby, as I mentioned earlier, that's on the back of the box, she did a little thought bubble of, this is disgusting, they better be paying me a whole lot of stuff. And really, I don't even remember how long that box of Cheerio aliens sat in the cupboard for. We never ate it. I mean, literally, I even remember having something as a type of cereal that was very short-lived because it was diabetes in a box, which was like a Rocky Road cereal, where it was chocolate dipped marshmallows and just as unhealthy as you could possibly do. But let's say good morning to the chat. And I see I have some lovely people here. We've got Darth Hastur. And a happy Easter to you too, darling. Good morning. Although I believe it's afternoon where you are. And good morning, Zacharat. How you doing? Hello, Bone. Good morning and happy Easter. Ironic enough, I actually have a sun tattoo on my back. Yeah. I still hate regular Cheerios. I being completely honest, I still hate them. I have difficulty even with the multigrain ones. Ironically, one of my favorite cereals nowadays is actually mini wheats, but it's got to be the brown sugar variety. And hello, memes. See, it's nice to see somebody else that that's familiar, that remembers that, because that wasn't a very long-lived cereal. Like I said, we ate so much sugary stuff. It was insane, because my grandmother worked at a grocery store in a small town called Shirkston. So we got privy to sorts of various unhealthy stuff, and even some of the stuff that no other Canadian kids got to see, because my cousins were always crossing the border, because they lived in Niagara, to go and pick up some American stuff. It's only 10:37 where you are. Nice. Yeah. I have been pulling up all sorts of fun stuff. But of course, yeah, hit that like button, share it out. Let's see if we can get some people in here. I found some nice funny stories. And before I get to the really funny one there, I also do have a list of stuff that people wanted to celebrate, and for those that are hanging out with me in the chat. As you see in the ticker below. Let's rise and shine together. If you haven't dropped something already, or even if you want to add to it, let me know what's something that you're proud of. Have you been working on something that you've been meaning to get around to? Just any old thing. Like, I actually just today finally got around to working up, drafting the patterns for the dolls. Yeah, the Canada side is really beautiful. Like, I will admit that we have the better view. Yeah, Niagara's been like a second home for me growing up. And here's one of the funny things I've picked up. The day my teacher stole my headphones. This is from the Thought Catalog. During my sophomore year of high school, we were doing silent work, and my history teacher said that we could listen to music, but if it was too loud, he would break our headphones. So I'm doing my work quietly with my music on low, and this obnoxious kid sitting next to me had his music really loud. I could hear it over my music, but ignored it. My teacher thought it was me. So he comes up to me and ripped my brand new Apple headphones, looking ruthless. He suddenly realized it was the guy next to me, and he was completely embarrassed. He came in the next day with a new pair and an apology note taped to them. He couldn't look me in the eye for the rest of the year. Let's do a little uplifting news. If I can find something good. I don't know. Let's see what we got going on here. Honey Nut Cheerio has always been my favorite. You know what? They've actually had some really nice flavors out nowadays. My daughter really likes the vanilla. There's a maple one that I admit I don't know, it's probably the pure Canadian in me or whatever. I have a sucker for any cereal that's got maple in it. And the maple Cheerios, whenever I get them, because I buy them with the intention of them being for me. But the kid always winds up, you know, eating the box on me. Oh, good morning, Maki. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Yes. And I remember you actually do have something to celebrate, so we will get to that in just one second. Do I remember Fruit Island cereal? Not off the top of my head. Not all of the American cereals made it up here, so I remember you had something to celebrate. Let me pull that up. Ah, DS. Yes, typed DS, typed in Dark Shignama. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Well, it's not an accomplishment yet, but I'll be graduating college in about 5 months. I'll earn my Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice Administration degree this year. Online college hasn't been easy, but I've been doing pretty well, so I'm pretty damn proud of that. And you know what? Fantastic. I've done the going back to school, and that is definitely something to celebrate. And when you fully graduated, we will definitely celebrate with you. I'm very proud of you, and that's awesome. Drop some fire or something in the chat, guys. Some hearts. And anyone who wants to have a nice kickback later in Mach, I'm going to be on with Maki today around 3:30 my time, 12:30 his. And we are going to be doing Fortnite skin, drawing some Fortnite skins. Apple Cinnamon Cheerios was great, and they don't make it anymore. Actually, they have them up here. I did see them in the grocery store the other day. Hello, Megatron. You know what? Thank you for participating in this. This is something I'd actually like to keep going. You know, there's so much outrage and people angry nowadays. Everyone's frustrated about being locked up. Let's do what we can. Let's rise together. Let's bring the light back in that the world needs. You know, I could definitely can if you want. And again, for those, you know, like I said, hit the like button, share this out, and by all means, yes, let's highlight things. Let's celebrate together. Drop something you're proud about. I don't care if it's you did dishes before you went to bed and you're proud of that. I'm proud of it too. Sorry, my cat jumped something outside. Let's see what else we got on the... Gabe, from, known as, I hate saying it, a blobfish, on Twitter, and he also has a YouTube channel, said that he had gained weight, was at 378, and now he's back down to 369, and I gave him a congratulations for that, and I would definitely second that congratulations, because this whole thing is just so hard. And dropping weight normally is really hard. And with the whole, you know, hard to get to gyms, and that makes it even more of a struggle. So good on you. I told you what I was proud you skimmed over it. Did I? Oh, still working on Theodore Pendergrass, chapter 3. You know, is that the book you're working on? Oh, beautiful. You know, I totally respect anyone who's working on a book. I admit I don't have that focus. The dedication that's required to that, good, great on you. Let me see. Did that. I'll hold off on Nina's to see if we get in here, to see if she gets in here. Let's go to another funny story, shall we? Again, from the thought catalog. Now, you know what? I can drop these into the description. This one is entitled, Oh, Seaman. When I was in high school, it was pretty quiet. I was pretty quiet around people who weren't my friends. Ironically, it's actually true in my case, too. The high school's wrestling coach also taught geometry, and he was my teacher. This resulted in a lot of wrestlers skipping class and barging into our classroom to hang out and not get in trouble. Sorry. One day, 7 wrestlers come in yelling about new wrestling uniforms and how excited they were. When they go over and pull out the uniforms, the whole class is kind of side-eyeing them. Even without what I mentioned next, the suits look funny. I mean, it's tight, royal blue, spandex, with a suspender-style top. Absolutely funny already. But the wrestlers grab the uniforms and rush out of the room to go change in the bathroom and come back to show them off, which is also hysterical because spandex hides nothing, and you could see all of their junk. Anyway, we live in a town called Ocean City. It's commonly abbreviated as OC. On the back of the spandex uniform, it says Ocean City Men in large letters, except they use the abbreviation. On the back, it says OC Men, which isn't awful, but then I sounded it out in my head. OC Men. Oh, seamen. I almost spit out the water I was drinking. I looked around frantically, trying to find someone who I can tell because I didn't have any friends to tell in this class. I turned to the girl next to me, and I had no idea who she was. I'd never talked to her before. I told her what I found, and we both cracked up. The whole time, she saw me as the quiet teacher's pet, who was shy and as hell. The first words out of my mouth were, "It says, oh, seaman. We've been friends for 7 years now." It's proud of Starscream's accomplishments. Well, congratulations to Starscream. That's awesome too. Yes, I would absolutely love to know what the title of Chapter 3 is, by all means. Yes, best of luck. All right. Yeah, I know. I admit I haven't grabbed a breakfast yet either. I'll whip up some eggs or something afterwards. Because I always find after live streams, I always need to nibble anyway, so I figured there was no point in rushing that. How long have we been going for? About 20 minutes. I'm hoping we get some people in here. Here's another one that actually caught my attention. From the thought catalog, Ow, My Shit. When I was a kid, I was always excited to learn new vocabulary. When I was in first grade, my teacher taught me that shin was another word for leg. Later that day, I was walking with my mom when I tripped and hit my leg on the ground really hard, and I yelled out, "Ow, my shin!" Although my mom heard, "Ow, my shit." She started yelling about how that was a bad word and we didn't say that word, and she was going to wash my mouth out with soap. I was crying, bawling mess of a child, to the point that I was doing that weird cry, stutter, hiccup noise. She paused in berating me and said, "Who taught you that word?" Of course, I told her the truth, and I said, Teacher taught me that word." And she started ranting about how she was going to call the school and get that teacher yelled at. I tried to explain that the teacher said that shin meant leg, so I'm sorry, I'll never say it again. And my mom got quiet and realized her mistake. "What did you say?" Of course, I started crying harder, and I said, "No, no, it's just your test. You're just going to wash my mouth out with soap again." When I finally calmed down enough to say it again, my mom apologized. And to this day, I always say shin loudly enough just to see her face blush. The Dreamwalker, for real. That sounds awesome. That's a great name. I love that. It Bone, you are speaking my language right there. There's a reason why I keep saying doing the dishes. I suck at them. I just did the dishes, and I'm proud of that because they were sitting in the sink for days. Hallelujah. I will celebrate that because I suck at doing dishes myself. One of the sad one of the unspoken, truths when it comes to chefs. We have people that normally do dishes for us. No, actually, no, that wasn't a story from my childhood. I am pulling these up. I do actually have some stories. The Cheerio aliens was actually from my childhood. Yeah, that is where most of the stories are coming from. Though there actually was a cursing situation when I was a kid. One of the first words actually I said in front of the extended family, my aunts and grandparents and all of that, was actually a curse word, which would probably surprise most people because I generally don't swear nowadays. But Christmas gatherings, like I said, we're down in Niagara, and it was the absolute funniest thing because we had a big family. So there would be like dozens of conversations going on in usually at least 3 different languages, guaranteed at least 2. So everyone was busy trying to talk over each other. And there's little me, like year and a half, 2 years old, whatever, never spoken in front of the family before because there was, if you guys have seen me in large live streams, I generally don't talk a lot there either. Force of habit, I guess. But I kept hearing this word over and over again, and it sounded absolutely delightful. This is what my family has told me, because obviously I don't remember that. But I guess it sounded absolutely delightful, as a lot of kids do when they hear something that is said with lots of excitement and enthusiasm. They'll repeat it. And I started off quiet among the loud cacophony that was all surrounding me. The F word over and over again. Started off really quietly. And as I proceeded to get louder and louder, the noise behind me, all around me of the family, people slowly stopped talking to hear the beautiful, adorable little blonde girl with curly hair and big blue eyes who looked like an absolute angel, walked right out of like an old book or something like that. Sitting there, swearing like a sailor just come back from port. Louder and louder until I was shouting at the top of my lungs the F word over and over again, as the only sound you could hear was me cursing and my sister laughing. Though my family did learn a quite big lesson right at that moment, and that stuck with the family. You gotta watch what you say around kids. And thank you for the sub, DS. I'm gonna try and pad this out. Try and do an hour. Nina Infinity, one of my co-hosts, and if you guys aren't familiar with her, by all means, go check out her channel, Nina Infinity. Every Friday, she does something that is right near dear to my heart, called Infinite Hope. She is also another one of the queens on the Queen's Council, but she loves to cover inspiring stories, and with the same reason why I do this kind of thing. Let's bring light back to the world. And she said, I'm proud of the hardships I've overcome in my life. The things I've overcame and didn't let stop me. I celebrate the friendships I've made in the past year, including you, Mads. She put a heart up there. And I will definitely celebrate that. Because, she is an absolute delight. I guess I was the one that encouraged her to become and join up on YouTube. In fact, her first live stream was a Queen's Council stream. And from the moment I talked to her, I took to her right away. But I totally have to agree with her. The friendships I've made from doing YouTube and from just hanging out, as Stephen Walton will say, was born in the chats. Well, in truth, Mads Mama Bear was born in Twitter. But that's a different story. Good morning, Fox. But yes, all of the wonderful people, including 19K Fox and everyone who's hanging out here and is catching this in the replay. Absolutely. Absolutely grateful for everyone that I've met. Heck, it was around this time last year that I didn't even know if I was going to be able to continue doing the whole YouTube thing. And everyone stood up and they helped. And truly, truly grateful for that. I still get a little misty when I talk about it. And you see you saying, too bad they didn't record it. Yeah, that was... I'm dating myself here, but that was back in the 80s. I won't say what part of the 80s, but yeah, there wasn't a lot of recorders at that point. I'm glad to have met you too. Good morning, Keely Chow. How you doing? Again, I have one more thing and that's from Jeff W. I can pull up another fun story because I'm running out of stuff. I could pull up another funny story. But, and then one more thing from Jeff. And there is a huge list of people for this one. But let's do another funny story. But if you guys, again, have something to celebrate, by all means, please drop it in. And if you're catching this on the replay, Go down into the comments section and tell me what you're proud about. Because again, anything that's put in the comments section or what will be the pinned tweet on my page, on my Twitter page, I will read out next week. I want to make this a thing. Let's make this go viral. Let's rise and shine together. Let's bring the light back to the world that we need. Are you going to make a big Easter Sunday meal? Actually, no. I am on my own today. Little Bear is over at her father's. So I'm probably just gonna make up an omelet and a nice salad or something. But no, I'm on my own. That's okay. Honestly, sometimes I really like the quiet. And hell, that's something I could really celebrate right now. I have been in and out for the past, like all of yesterday, because I admit I've been catching up on sleep. I love Little Bear with every ounce of my soul, but I apparently need more sleep than she does. So I've been told this is life of a parent. So with her at her father's, yeah, I've definitely been catching up on sleep. And believe me, that alone just made me feel absolutely wonderful. Yeah. I'm proud to call you friend too. Yes, the world needs balance. Without balance, chaos. And more, I'm just seeing it. And I can't be the only one. Every little thing seems to get people upset. I mean, outrage itself almost seems to become its own thing. Like we have cancel culture. We almost seem to have outrage culture. And I admit I'm watching less and less channels because I'm at my limit of it. Of the anger, not that I was ever really a fan of angry channels to start with, where that's the center of their thing. But yeah, I just, there's only so much a person can take, and I want to fight back with the only way I can, by bringing light back out, by bringing love. Let's celebrate. Shoot, thinking of celebrating, I have this app called Page a Day Calendar, and it gives you all sorts of fun things. And of course, it's Eastern. It's Eastern in most of North America and all of that, and Western Christianity. It's also World Rat Day and National Cordon Bleu Day in the USA. Neat. And apparently daylight savings in Australia. So, yeah, you guys are, it's an official coffee day for Australia too then. And apparently 404 Day, not that I'm sure what that is. Let's look that up. What's 404 Day? Oh, error message. Because it's April 4th, otherwise known as 404, the calendar's answer to the infamous 404 error message. Nerd humor. Love it when that pops up in the calendar. And good morning, Michelle. I told the Cheerio alien story. Let's see. I'm proud that I haven't opened my free Disney Plus app since the day they fired Gina. And you know what? That was completely messed up that they did that. You know, she's an absolute delight. of a human being, and I don't understand the hate she gets. I wish I could say it's unheard of, but I've been on receiving end myself quite often. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with fun stories and all of that stuff. I'm trying to pad the time up because I was hoping to make an hour, but I'm running out of stuff. Is there anything that you're proud of? Something you want to share? And I can come up with something when it comes to you. Um, Again, I've mentioned, that me and my sisters are half Dutch. My dad was from the Netherlands, so we grew up on a lot of Dutch food. And one of the treats we always know was called mocha boats. That's how we knew them. And there's fantastic little tarts in a kind of a short crust. You can feel free to correct me at any point, Michelle. Like a short crust pastry with this. It's really basically like mocha icing, which I'm sure she's going to correct me on this one, with a fondant shell on top. And last time she was down, we looked in so many like Dutch bakeries trying to find it, and they're hard. Dutch bakeries are hard to find nowadays around my world. Butter pastry, of course. Well, it's Dutch, but we just kept being disappointed because we couldn't find them. So she did a lot of experimenting, and finally actually figure out how to make the mocha boats. And I look forward to this whole thing being over and she can come back and I can try one of her mocha boats. Because there are some things, it's just growing up, those are the things that you just become the soft spot for. I look forward to seeing them. Because for those who like to do the relaxing whatever, we're doing the Sunday YouTube tour. Stunning and Brave Megatron we'll be doing a draw stream. And I'm not quite sure what time are you doing, is your draw stream? But he always does these beautiful drawings on his channel in between, well, me and when Maki goes live. Oh, dude, yes. Nice roast beef dinner. Do some brown butter mashed potatoes. 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And hello, my dino. Happy Easter. We got 8 people in the chat. I love that. Let me see. $10 likes. You know what? And I will. Again, if anyone who's dropped in, yes, please hit the like button. And if you're catching this on the replay, yes, definitely hit that like button. And either way, if you're watching it right now or watching it on the replay, let me know what's something that you're proud of. If I can't read it live, I will definitely read it next week. Let's rise and shine together. Let's bring some light back into the world. And on that thought, rookie critic, Jeff W., did have something. Oh, let's actually do Lauren Bernfredo's first. His niece is learning to ride a bike. And by all means, absolutely send some congratulations out to her, because that is definitely something to be proud of, because not all of us learned that. But anything to learn something, by all means. Every little thing, let's celebrate it. And let's come up together with something to drop in the chat as a celebration, whether it be applause, a heart, whatever. My phone has a similar thing to Megatron. It refuses to die. And I'm glad it refuses to die. Pretty sure my house is haunted. My Xbox turns itself on all the time. Well, if that's what the ghosts want to do, believe me, I've seen weirder and more hurtful. So, literally, actually had one place I was living at. Working as a chef at the time, I had my full knives, complete chef knives that I would keep razor sharp, and on a magnetic knife block. And this thing was strong. It was hard to get the knife separated from them. One day I was doing dishes in that apartment, and the knife, I kid you not, separated from the knife block. It flew across at me. I looked at my room and I'm not doing dishes anymore. Again, that was one of those things. If there was camera phones, it would have been a great thing to record. And you see, everybody's bored during the pandemic. Even the ghosts are looking for something to do. Hey, good morning, America. This was the artist of the Cheerio aliens. Happy Easter. Is there anything that you guys would like to drop in the chat to celebrate? Because I've got pretty much one other thing to celebrate, though I can list off a whole bunch of names. Let me see what we got here. Let's pull up another funny short story while I wait for... This is a good one. Again, from the thought catalog that I posted up earlier. I have a friend who I've known since I was very little. One day when he was 6, I was at his house when he got this absolutely god-awful stomach pain. I mean, he was literally writhing in pain. So his mom took him to the doctor's office, where the doctor took one look and told her to take him to the ER. She feared something along the lines of intestinal rupture. About halfway to the hospital, my friend suddenly let rip the loudest, most powerful fart any of us had ever heard. I swear to God, he levitated. We thought the upholstery in the car seat had ripped, and after a good 30 seconds of intense farting, he looked at his mom and said, "I feel all better now." It seems like a nice ghost hasn't knocked anything important over yet. You know what? That's something to celebrate. How often do we see these ghost videos where that's all they do is they trash the place? Why is there never a ghost that puts stuff away? Ghosts are even active in the day now. See, everybody bored. Even the dead are bored. I'm proud of finding ways to make sure people I know are loved in spite of the lockdown. Not lockdown. Yeah. Yes, he had the devil inside him. This is actually why I pulled this stuff up. Looking for stuff to just bring that happiness, to bring laughs to people. I'm happy I reorganized my waifu harem, my list of waifus after April 1st and removed several from the harem, but I got some new ones. I'm still not entirely certain what a waifu is, but any reorganization, that's magic words to me. And if you're proud of it, I'm proud of it. That's awesome. I'm also proud that I cleaned my room yesterday. Speaking my language right there. Sometimes that is one of the hardest things we can do, and I have been battling through that myself. So, my dino, I celebrate you on that one. Cheers. Let me see. Let's see if I can find another one. Okay, and again from the thought catalog. So a couple of years I moved out of state with a boyfriend. Was super excited about it, but with reason had anxiety about being so far from friends and family. One of the ways my anxiety was coming out was with nightmares and night terrors. I'd wake up violently, sitting up in a cold sweat, gasping and whatnot. On one particular night, I'd woken up at the sound of our doorbell ringing, which at 4 a.m. is nerve-wracking. So I shook my boyfriend fully awake and told him I heard the doorbell and to go check it because I was scared. He quickly jumps up, puts clothes on, and grabs a bat. Goes all the way to the front door and opens it. I, scared shitless, am peeking around the corner, watching it all go down. I see him step outside, and I nervously await the verdict of the situation when I hear him call out to me, "Babe?" And I respond with a real shaky, "Yes." He stands in the doorway with a real frustrated, tired look in his eyes and says, "We don't have a fucking doorbell." I love you, Dinah. Still got 8 people kicking around. So, you know what? I have been hemming and hawing. We are at the 48-minute mark. Let's get to this. From the Rookie Critic. I am proud of the progress I see a lot of small YouTubers have made lately. Final Death Star, General Zod, and others have passed 1K recently. And you know what? I can add to that. Syl has actually did pass the 1K mark. Big Afford Entertainment, one of the guys I stream with, Onzo, he has not only finally passed the 1K, just celebrated that recently, he is monetized as well as pretty much all of my Queen co-hosts, which absolutely proud of them. Lorena is actually getting really close to 2K. You know what? Let's get her there. Okay, there has been a lot of people that have jumped and made that 1K mark. And there are actually even some that have posted up their first video. The Basco scenario, another one that I stream with, and you will find us all on Comic Chat's channel on Mondays. He finally posted out his first video, and it's about reviewing the bad ones, the Star Wars thing. And you guys know I'm not a real star. I'm not a big Star Wars thing, but it's a nice, quick, positive video about what he likes about it. The Bad Batch. That's it. Yes, absolutely check it out. The Basco scenario. You know, he is almost at 100. I'll be back. I'm going out to eat with my father. Awesome. Have a good nosh. Yeah, that's the thing. Propping up others. It's one of the things I do very well. But you know what? As like I said, my friend Stephen Walton, he says it often. We rise together. I'm doing a slight amendment to that. Let's rise and shine together. Oh, YetiCast is about to. Nice. In record time, too. You know what? YetiCast is an absolute delight to stream with. And he definitely deserves it. People just trying and not giving up. Being consistent without getting recognized is hard. Absolutely. And that's actually why I want to do this. Because I know how hard it is. When... You know, I know how hard... I totally get how hard it is sometimes to just keep going. Like I said, I don't care if it's something just little. Like I said, we literally did celebrate somebody doing the dishes. And you know what? I will celebrate that every week. Because I know some days, there are some days, it's sometimes just hard getting up out of bed. And, you know, especially with this never-ending seeming lockdown. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate every little thing. Did you try a new recipe? Awesome. Let's do this. Good news. My dad showed up while you were streaming. Good to see him. That's fine. Just about cried when he showed up. You know what? Definitely. That alone is worth celebrating. Good morning, Deej. How you doing? It's nice to see we got more people rolling in, by all means. And as the ticker says, let's rise and shine together. What are you proud of? Yes. That's from the wonderful M. Dishes and laundry is worth celebrating. Adulting is hard and boring. Definitely. She understands how powerful those words are for me. Yes. I will celebrate anytime somebody says they want to do that, they've done dishes, that they've done some pickup, that they've done laundry. Truth, actually, I don't mind laundry. But I know some people, they hate it. Did you do a chore that you absolutely hate? And are you glad it's behind you? Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate going out for a walk. Oh, let's celebrate it's Easter. And a year ago, somebody showed up and put a whole bunch of little plastic eggs out for my daughter to find during lockdown. Our first lockdown, when we didn't even know how to handle this. And she did this wonderful job of making Easter special when we had no clue if we could even do it. Yeah. M is magic. That is my proud moment. Yes. And I'm going to figure out how to put that on a shirt for you. or something. 'Cause many of you, some of you will know that I've been fighting with this god awful tablet from Walmart. And I'd been fighting with it since January. Because what I ordered and what showed up were two different things. But as much as I have a gift with animals and other things, I have no luck when it comes to talking face to face with people, or even on the phone quite often. I had been fighting since January. This past week, and this is something, again, definitely worth celebrating. This past week, my sister helped me get that finally settled and refunded. So having that off of my mind is definitely worth celebrating. I'm so happy about that. And that's where the Emma's magic comes from. Because just watching her interact with people is wild. Because it's literally, for me, the only way I can describe it. I've had wild animals come up to me. You know, like they've known me their entire life. But I have no luck when it comes to most people. She walks up to a customer service desk and they're just about ready to hand her a puppy. It's hilarious for me to watch. It's awesome. I can see if I can find one more funny short story, because we're rounding that hour mark and I am out of stuff. Let's go with this one. Classroom chaos. So in 8th grade, I used to read during class a lot. At the time, I was reading an Artemis Fowl book, and for some reason, I had 2 copies of the same book. So one day in my English class, we were reading this other book, which I had already finished reading 3 days earlier. I was reading my own book when it was finally my turn to read. I had no idea where we were. So the teacher took my book away. I found my spot and read the part and passed it to the next person to start reading. So after I read my part, I took out my second copy of Artemis and picked it up right where I left off, skipped a few minutes ahead, gets back to my turn to read, and again, I don't know where we are. So the teacher takes a look at me, sees the book in my hand, and then back to her desk, obviously confused for a second, but shrugs it off knowing it's me she's dealing with. I've caused similar problems like this before. Takes my second book and puts it on her desk and makes me read my part. Now my friend that sat 2 chairs down from me was also reading Artemis at the same time as me, and with a quick look to him, he knew exactly what I was planning. He took it out and passed it over without hesitation. I opened to a random spot and just pretended like I was reading. At this point, it was just to mess with my teacher. So skip forward again, and my teacher sees me with the book again. It says, "How many of those do you have?" I gave my smartass remark as, "Enough." She took away that book too, but now at this point I was out of books, and the rest of my class knew it. But the teacher didn't know I was out, so she continued with her lesson, and another friend of mine took 2 of her books and switched out 2 of the Artemis books on her desk to make them look like they were still there. He passed the books slowly around the room, one at a time, until they were back to me. Then I took one out, opened to a random spot, and just kept it open, waiting to get caught. I silently signaled to a few people in the class, and they started laughing. The teacher looked at what they were laughing at and saw me with yet another book. She looked at her desk, where there were seemingly 3 Artemis books, and saw me with a 4th. She took it, walked back to her desk, and put it down, turned around, and saw me with the second book that I had got taken back on my desk. The teacher thought she was going to win this game, but underestimated my teamwork with my classmates. So the second she came over to me to take the seemingly fifth book, another classmate took back the other two books from her desk and split them up, sending one to me one way and one the other way. The teacher was very flustered and laughing hysterically at this point, and there was no more teaching going on. The entire class was also going ballistic, trying to see who would win. It was a game of how many books does this one eighth grader have? So at the end of the class, she thought she had taken 11 books from me. I took pity on her and told her what was really happening. I told her that I had already read the first book and all of the teamwork that went on. We were both laughing and making jokes in the end. She agreed to let me read my own books as long as I kept track of the actual book we were reading, meaning I asked the person next to me to tell me when it's my turn, and they point out my spot so I read so I don't actually have to keep track. I see you laughing, and I know exactly what you're thinking. That is something Rebecca would do, something I would have pulled off too. I am uploading funny clips to my StreamYard. It's awesome. I look forward to the day where I can, join that whole having StreamYard clips. Clips in my StreamYard so I can kind of do that kind of thing. In fact, I already know which one of the first ones it's going to be. Outside of any, Dark Council clips, because, yeah, I am definitely going to have Lord Callus going, pause. But there is one from Doctor Who that I already plan on having. And it's from one of the Matt Smith episodes with him and River Song. Trying to remember the name of it. But it was half of the Pandora's box, the second half. And she comes up and, I have many questions, but first of all, and she looks at the doctor who's wearing this fez and goes, "What on God's earth do you have on your head?" He goes, "It's a fez. I wear fezzes now. Fezzes are cool." She looks at Amy, and Amy grabs the hat, tosses it up in the air, and River proceeds to shoot the hat. That's going to be one of my first clips. Just saying that. Anytime Dimogenai shows up with, if he ever shows up with that god awful fedora, that clip's going to get played. Pretty much anyone other than drunk. I know most people like the fedora. I don't. I don't have the premium version. They might have changed it up. I have the free version, so I don't get any clips where I can pull up. I can't even upload the intros, which I'd like to. I'm uploading the clip where Optimus Prime says "booby trap." I really need that Tom from Midnight Side. He does that so well. Never watched Doctor Who. I was thinking about watching the early seasons. I admit I am still trying to work my way through the original Doctors, because a lot of the original ones are lost. But definitely, it's worth going back and starting from the beginning of Christopher Eccleston, which was when the Doctor Who series came back. So that was Doctor number 9. I don't remember what the name of the first one was, but definitely. I know I see you saying start with David Tennant. No, start with Eccleston. That was the beginning of the Doctor Who, the reboot of the Doctor Who series, or return of it. Reboot's the wrong word. Yes. Yeah. And he was there for only one season. But his doctor impacted a lot of the stuff that happened later, including one of my all-time favorite characters from the series, Captain Jack Harkness. And you guys, anyone who has seen me in the chats have seen me mention his name at least like once or twice because of this whole Lando pansexual thing. You want to talk pansexual for somebody being out in space, Captain Jack Harkness is a beautiful example of that. That's how it should be done. Not I'm hitting up the toaster. Just saying. But at this point I am out of ideas. For anyone, yeah, by all means, yes, please hit that like button if you're catching this on the replay. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you guys later on Machiny 90s channel, where we are doing some Fortnite drawing. And apparently he's got something all planned out with that. I'm looking forward to it. And if you're catching this on the replay, please leave a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you're proud of. Let's rise and shine together, guys. Later, everyone. And if you're, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. There'll be a pinned tweet with the thumbnail from this week. What are you proud of? Let's celebrate together. It's a Battlestar Galactica toaster. I'm down. Trisha Rawr. Later. Let's say enough to the outrage culture. Let's stand up together. Let's rise and shine. Catch you later. Love y'all.